Fossen, one of the original members of Heart, recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Steve, you guys put Heart together. It was you and
Roger.
And back in on the west side near Seattle.
Near Seattle, yeah. Actually, we both lived in Kenmore, which is a little bit north of Seattle, at the north end of Lake Washington. And we met when we were 13, and when we were 14 is when the Beatles hit, and we went nuts about trying. We thought we just were talking about making music and doing tours and writing music and doing albums and stuff, and we kept talking about it, and then finally, a couple years later, we got our instruments, and then a couple years after that is when we started the Army, which turned into White Heart, and then we shortened it to Heart.
And how old were you when you got your instruments, your guitar?
15.
I want to go back to maybe shortly after Ann Wilson joined the band. You guys had put an ad in the newspaper, and she responded, and she joined the band. Yeah. And you and I briefly touched on this, prior to sitting down and talking, but you played a club in North Seattle called the Aquarius.
We played there a lot, and it was a club that invited us back a lot to play because we did very well there.
Yeah. All right, so I have someone who actually worked at the Aquarius, and I'm gonna tell you what she said about one of the first times you guys played there.
Okay.
And you tell me if you agree. But they said you guys were doing, you're really starting to build some popularity. And they said, we did our best to prepare. We hired extra people for the night. We thought we were prepared, but we weren't for the amount of people who came in to hear you guys.
Yeah, it was really packed. We really packed the place out, especially on the weekends. During the week, it was a little, we did well, but it wasn't like the weekends that were just crazy fun.
All right, well, I'm going to introduce you to the person that I'm talking about here in just a moment. When we come back, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. We're talking with Steve Fossen, one of the original members of the band Heart, recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.